The tree of knowledge was divine technology. What if the most influential story ever told isn't quite what it seems? We all know the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, but let's try on a wild idea for a minute. What if the tree of knowledge wasn't a tree at all? Now, to be clear, this is a modern, speculative reinterpretation. It has no direct support in the original texts, but the symbolism is just too powerful to ignore. Ancient traditions did describe sacred trees as a kind of intersection between heaven and earth, a cosmic connection point. So, join us as we explore a fascinating thought experiment. What if Adam and Eve didn't just eat a piece of fruit? What if they accessed a forbidden technology that rewired human consciousness forever? Section 1. The Mystery of the Two Trees. The story, as told in Genesis, seems pretty straightforward on the surface. In the middle of a perfect garden stood two unique trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Adam and Eve had just one rule: don't eat from the tree of knowledge, because if you do, you will surely die. But that simple command opens up some huge questions. Why was this particular knowledge so dangerous? What made these two trees so different from all the others, which were also called good? To even begin to understand, we have to look at the world the story came from. Across the ancient Near East, the idea of a sacred tree was a huge deal. In cultures from Mesopotamia to Egypt, these trees were seen as cosmic pillars, what scholars call an axis mundi, that connected our earthly world to the divine heavens. They were symbols of life, fertility, and a way to reach the gods. So, when the authors of Genesis put two superpowered trees in the very center of paradise, a place where heaven and earth were said to meet, they were sending a powerful message. Eden wasn't just a garden, it was a divine space where humans and heavenly beings could interact. This leads us to the million-dollar question. If the tree of knowledge symbolized a cosmic connection point, what exactly was it connecting humanity to? What was this knowledge? And why did getting it come with such a massive price tag? Section 2. The Investigation. Unlocking the code of good and evil. The key to this whole mystery might be hiding in that strange phrase, the knowledge of good and evil. For centuries, most people took this to mean gaining a moral compass, knowing right from wrong. But some modern scholars think this phrase is an ancient Hebrew figure of speech called a merism. A merism expresses a total concept by pairing two opposites. It's like when we say we searched high and low to mean we searched everywhere. In that case, good and evil might just mean everything. This wasn't just any knowledge. The serpent's promise was very specific. You will be like God, knowing good and evil. In some translations, the word for God is *Elohim*, which can also mean divine beings or angels. The real temptation, then, wasn't just to be wise, but to get the knowledge of the gods, to know everything. It was an offer of omniscience. Now let's reframe this with a modern analogy. What if the tree of knowledge wasn't a plant, but a biological supercomputer? And what if its fruit was the password to the operating system of the universe? The serpent wasn't just offering a snack. It was offering a dangerous shortcut, a hack, a way to get godlike knowledge and power way before humanity was ready for it. The biblical text describes a fundamental change in their very nature. Before eating, Adam and Eve were naked and felt no shame. Afterwards, their eyes were opened, and they were suddenly hit with fear and a sense of separation. You can see why some interpret this not just as a new thought, but as a new state of being. It's like they upgraded their own software, but the new code was unstable. The knowledge they got was experiential, not just intellectual. It gave them the ability to make moral judgments, but also the heavy burden of self-awareness, shame, and the full weight of consequences. Section 3. The Revelation, the First Biohackers. This brings us to the core of our thought experiment. What if the tree of knowledge was a metaphor for a divine technology, and eating its fruit was the first human-initiated upgrade? Seen through this lens, Adam and Eve weren't just the first sinners. They were the first biohackers. Of course, this is a creative analogy to help us grasp the sheer scale of what happened, not a claim about the ancient text itself. They didn't just break a rule, they tried to alter the source code of human consciousness. They took a shortcut to seize a power they were perhaps meant to grow into over time, with divine guidance. Instead, they took it for themselves, and in doing so, they integrated a powerful but unstable new operating system. This new system gave them godlike potential, the knowledge of everything. But because it was taken in an act of disobedience, it was corrupted from the start. It came bundled with malware, fear, shame, mortality, and a fractured connection to the divine. Looking at it this way, the expulsion from Eden wasn't just a punishment, it was a quarantine. The text is very clear about the reason. God kicks them out to keep them from getting to the other tree, the tree of life. Imagine the terrifying result if these newly altered humans, with their unstable, godlike knowledge, also got their hands on immortality. They could have become flawed, corrupt, eternal gods, a potential threat to the entire cosmic order. The expulsion was a necessary firewall. By cutting off access to the tree of life, God contained the damage. Humanity was now mortal, living with a powerful but flawed consciousness, and left to figure out the complexities of good and evil on its own. Section 4, the legacy of the Forbidden Code. If we run with this interpretation, the story of Eden transforms from a simple tale of disobedience into a profound allegory about our relationship with knowledge and power. We are the descendants of that fateful choice. We live with the consequences of that forbidden upgrade every single day. Our consciousness is both the prize and the price. It lets us compose symphonies, build civilizations, and peer into the secrets of the universe. But it also gives us the capacity for unimaginable cruelty, self-destruction, and a kind of existential dread no other creature on Earth seems to have. We are forever caught between our animal nature and our divine aspirations. We carry the knowledge of good and evil inside us, a powerful code we're still struggling to understand and control. And here's where this ancient story suddenly feels very, very modern. We're standing at a new cliff's edge, reaching for new kinds of forbidden knowledge. We're building artificial intelligence with the potential for omniscience. We're editing the building blocks of life itself with genetic engineering. We're creating digital worlds that promise a new kind of paradise. We are, in a sense, reaching for the fruit of new trees. Are we just repeating the same pattern? Are we chasing godlike power without the wisdom to handle it? The story of Eden serves as a timeless warning. It suggests that some knowledge is so powerful it could lead to our own downfall, and that the greatest wisdom might not be in what we can know, but in what we're willing to leave unknown. Conclusion. Perhaps the story of the tree of knowledge isn't about a literal tree or a physical fruit. Maybe it's a powerful allegory for a kind of technological leap, a moment when our ancestors made a choice that forever changed our species. It's a story about the awesome and terrifying power of knowledge and the responsibility that comes with it. So, what do you think? Was the tree of knowledge a divine gift, a cosmic trap, or the first painful step in humanity's long journey to find its own wisdom? If you're into exploring forbidden knowledge and challenging the stories we've all been told, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Let us know your theories in the comments below. What do you believe the tree of knowledge really was?